Hey, today in this video, I want to speak on the discussions of the Chicago Bears stadium move to Northwest Indiana. So without further ado, let's get started. There have been discussions about this for a couple of months now, and some things I just want to briefly talk about with this situation. For those who don't know, I am from East Chicago, Indiana, which is in Northwest Indiana, which we call the region here. So I feel like this topic is tailored for a guy like me. But I'm not gonna lie, the main reason why I feel like I'm making this video is because of all the shit I seen on these Reddit forums, Facebook threads, and YouTube comments about the team's move. Straight stupidity. But I must admit, some of the outrage you see online is laughable. You see guys talking about how if they leave Illinois for Indiana, they'll no longer be fans of the team, or the team will no longer be the Chicago Bears. This is hilarious when you consider Northwest Indiana legit borders the city of Chicago. That man-made political line got people so fucked up to the point where they just ignore culture and proximity. By this outrage, you would think the team is moving to Evansville or something. You would also think there's not a handful of NFL teams that does something similar. For example, the New York Giants, but let me not even get into that because I got so tired of seeing that repeated over and over and over again on social media. It just didn't seem to register with a lot of people. Hammond, Indiana, which is the city that would be the Bears' next home if they were to move to the region, is like 2 minutes from the east side of Chicago. Like, I get having the city pride and the whole "it still ain't Chicago" complex, but bruh, business is business at the end of the day, and it's all just entertainment. It only took Indiana a couple weeks to get all their ducks in a row compared to Illinois, who has been sitting on that Arlington Heights location for 3 years now with no real movement. You got the Bears and the state of Illinois having a stare down about infrastructure and tax breaks. Meanwhile, you got Indiana trying to be the best sugar daddy in history by rolling out the red carpet for the Bears, offering to pay for and build the stadium with all revenue going to the team. The Bears have the option to buy the stadium at the end of the lease. Indiana is willing to spend over $5 billion for this project, which would include a domed stadium, hotels, merch stores, entertainment district, etc. Just hearing all that, I know other NFL team owners are like, what the fuck are they waiting on? They're getting land money and tax breaks? What T.I. say? You can have whatever you like. Seems like a no-brainer. People are claiming the Bears are using Indiana as leverage to make Illinois cave. But how far does this really need to go before they cave? Like, seriously, the Bears themselves put out a statement saying they would move forward with a location in Hammond after Indiana passed the bill unanimously to lure the Bears 24-0. I mean, if you guys still feel like this is a negotiation tactic, I guess, but damn. You don't think they're getting in too deep to where they get to the point of no return? Illinois must really think the Bears are born bluffers if that's the case. I know I would hate if the Bears ever held my ransom. Just saying. But we have yet to see a real proposal or renderings from Hammond, like we've seen from Gary or Portage, but I believe they will come correct with the Wolf Lake location. They would have no choice. But don't get me wrong, that Portage Halas Harbor proposal was fire in my honest opinion. Gale from Breaking Bad wasn't playing no games with that presentation he had. If they do end up going to Hammond and they end up topping that setup, I'll be surprised. The whole sailgating thing was a cool idea, and shout out Imagine Movie Theater in Portage just because they're the best, but I digress. Gary's proposal was cool as well with the 3 locations. I liked the Buffington Harbor one the most. The one where they had it by Hard Rock Casino would have been a nightmare traffic-wise. But it seems as though the Bears and the NFL see the vision in Hammond and Wolf Lake. See, me personally, I drive by Wolf Lake every day because I take the Skyway whenever I have to go to the city to pick up a load for work. And as of right now, I don't know how would they make it work. Not saying it's not a good location, I just don't get it. You got the lake on both sides of the highway and you got the pavilion right there as well. But, you know, I ain't no damn architect, so we'll see. You also got the refineries close by. I know that might be a concern for all the fake-ass environmentalists out there. Or the pack-a-day smokers that all of a sudden has an issue with the damn ozone layer. It went through testing and got approved for a reason, so it should be safe, or it could be just like how they did in the West Calumet Projects complex in East Chicago with the lead stuff, but that's a rabbit hole we ain't gotta go down in this video. But you know, with all this going on, you got all these unhappy quote-unquote Bears fans on the Illinois side crying and shit. You got a mix of ignorance, whining, and plain stupidity from these certain groups. I swear to God, you go on these forums on social media and see the same bullshit like, will they still be the Chicago Bears? Or, I will be a Packers fan if they go to Indiana. Or my favorite, no one's driving all the way to Indiana to watch the Bears. Alright, so first off, Northwest Indiana is part of the Chicago metropolitan area. For those who don't know how to operate Google, or if your head is as empty as River Oaks Mall, a metropolitan area is an urban area that consists of cities and counties or county equivalents that are closely connected economically and socially. Hammond is a suburb of Chicago. I'm gonna just put this right here. You can cry to your mama about these facts. It's all essentially a suburb of Chicago that just happens to be over the Indiana border. The perfect comparison is what Northern Jersey is to New York. People live here and work in the city. Many businesses that are here support Chicago's economy. For example, my job Schneider operates for the entire Chicagoland area. When you go to the Gary OC, you will see this sign on the building. Any locals here that listens to the Power 92 radio station in the car sometimes, you know the Chicago-based radio station that's right there with 107.5 WGCI for best hip-hop station? You know that radio station is in Hammond, Indiana, right? Right? You knew that, right? You know it's right off Calumet, right? In Hammond, right? But you ain't gotta worry about it. Nobody listens to the radio nowadays, so y'all probably didn't know. Poor DJ Ferris. I know a lot of y'all are probably thinking, well, why can't y'all just be like the rest of Indiana and rep Indiana stuff like the Colts, Pacers, etc.? Cause what I just fucking said earlier about us being a Chicago suburb in Indiana, dickhead. Why would I rep a team I don't align with culturally or geographically? They play almost 3 hours away from us compared to Chicago, which is at most 30 to 45 minutes. That arbitrary-ass state line is irrelevant as hell when it comes to pro sports. It's all about media market proximity. We're essentially the only part of Indiana that goes by Central Time Zone. Culturally, we favor Chicago more for obvious reasons. We're not deep enough in Indiana to be ingrained in Indiana type stuff for real. We have family that are from or live in the city and go back and forth all the time. I mean, you can classify us as Hoosiers because we're within the state boundaries. But like Mayor McDermott of Hammond said, we are the red-headed stepchild of this state. Might be because we're like one of the few blue voting areas in the state. But culturally, we don't give a fuck about the Indy 500 up here. Larry Bird is not our Lord and Savior. We don't go to Kroger. We don't eat fucking pork tenderloin sandwiches here. And we don't got cornfields like that up here. You want to talk about Mike Epps? Sure. High school basketball? Definitely. But that's probably all the Indiana you're gonna get. And I guess Indiana Beach, then you got exclusive region shit. You know, Michael Jackson, Zell's, Scoops, Lemon Rice Soup, The Dunes, South Shore, Deep River Water Park, Lake County Fair, Porter County Fair, Pierogi Fest, Albanese Candy Factory, and so on and so forth. After that, it's all Chi City. Not gonna lie to you. We got all Chicago media. You come here and turn on the news, you're going to see Fox Chicago, ABC Chicago, NBC Chicago, and you can get a Chicago Sun-Times or Tribune at gas stations. You'll be hard-pressed to find an indie star. I already mentioned the radio stations earlier. We know the jingles too, bro. That 773-202 beep, 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 Luna. We know that. Mo and Oink. We know that shit too, bro. Used to smell like straight cow ass when you walk in that place and hella cold. In school, when we went to field trips, it was Sox games, the Navy Pier, Museum of Science and Industry, Brookfield and Lincoln Park Zoo, etc. We hardly went downstate for field trips unless it was on some college tour stuff. There's like 3 Jewel Oscos in the region, Crown Point, Munster, and Dyer. The food culture is here. Hella Sharks, hella JJ's Fish and Chicken, hella Harold's, etc. Gyro cheeseburgers, Italian beefs, pizza puffs. Chicago-style pizza is here as well at countless spots. Beggars along with the other big names. We just ain't got an Italian fiesta. Home Run Inn is my shit though. We like fruities, chips with cheese, Vintners. Like, what are we talking about? Dudes here in 2014 was bopping. Me personally, I thought the shit looked goofy, but whatever. Footworking and juking is a thing here. Shit is endless. While I'm on this topic, I mentioned Scoops earlier and how that is region shit, right? For the Chicagoans watching, did you know you guys claim the Region Burger as a Chicago burger? The restaurant, which is called The Region in Roscoe Village in the city, sells smash burgers that are inspired by Scoops, which originated in Hammond. I bring this up because there's some people online that claim that Northwest Indiana has no ties to the city, or vice versa. It ain't like Michael Jordan and the Bulls didn't play their first home game at the Washington High School in East Chicago in '84 against the Bucks. Rest in peace, Junior Bridgman, by the way. For the people who say they won't be fans no longer if they move here, like, I want to know, what's really the issue? It can't be distance, because Hammond is closer to Chicago than Arlington Heights is. And I've heard people say Hammond is more Chicago than most burbs, but that's neither here nor there. Is it because Indiana is a predominantly red state? First off, why the fuck are you mixing politics with sports fandom? That's odd. It ain't like Trump is going to pull up to a Bears game just because they moved to Indiana. Are some of you just racist and don't want the stadium to be in a predominantly minority area like Hammond? 'Cause I ain't gonna lie, the comments I seen about the team possibly moving to Gary had some slick racist undertones. Like how if they were to park at the stadium on game days, all their stuff in the cars would be gone when they come back. Or how they would get shot and robbed on game days. Scary, disrespectful asses. Gary's not even that bad. It's poverty-stricken, but it's coming back for sure. All I'm saying is people should really get off this Chicago or Chicago suburb high horse, because you're actually exposing your true character. And the disrespect to Northwest Indiana as a whole has got to stop. Especially considering all the damn Illinois plates I see here. It's funny how they try to say Northwest Indiana doesn't have shit, or it's nothing to do but be the ones doing the most here at the same time. That's another thing too, like how the fuck are you mad that your football team is moving to Northwest Indiana for financial reasons and your ass did the same thing? Hypocrite. If all you out-of-towners who are watching this knew how many people from Illinois actually lived here and come in and out on a daily basis to Northwest Indiana, it would actually have you looking at these outraged comments online so much differently. Me being a local, I look at the comments in confusion and as a weird switch up. It has that same vibe of when your homie starts talking crazy about you in front of females because you unintentionally made him look bad. Bro, I promise you, there's an apartment complex in Griffith called Park West, where it's mostly all people from Chicago and surrounding suburbs. You know how the city has the Little Village neighborhood? I call Park West Tiny Chicago, or Little Ill Age. Talking about, I'll no longer be a fan if they move there. The same people who say that are probably the same childish people that would disown a family member just because they moved 20 miles southeast. The history and memories mean nothing, huh? But like I said, you guys got to chill. You have a right to feel how you feel. But talking down on us when we both benefit from each other is straight wild. Y'all come here for a lower cost of living to get away from Illinois' corruption, fireworks, casinos, gas, cigarettes, guns, strip clubs, etc. Yeah, your asses go to Wiggles too. And you go to Club Playos and Gary, but we don't gotta speak on that. But either way, bro, it is okay. We go to Chicago for the typical big city experience. Me personally, I wouldn't live in the city. Just not my style for real. I kind of feel like communities within big cities are fully plugged into the matrix. The elites use big cities for social experiments, heavy, and other sinister plans. Plus, you guys be getting extorted by your government. Let's just call it what it is. But there are many Bears fans here in the region that have love for the team just as much as anybody in the Chicagoland, bro. This is indeed Bears country. It's a shame you all see it as, those Indianimals took our team. And can you chill on that Indianimal shit too? I really wish those two fools ain't get up there and do that suspect-ass dance routine. I think they were from Nap though. But yeah, you guys should just see it as a suburb just holding shit down for the city, because that's basically all it is. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised Chicago doesn't try to claim Northwest Indiana on some domination of land shit. You would think it would be a flex to other major cities or something. But anyways, a stadium change shouldn't swing your fandom completely. Like I said, it's a business, and as long as they're in Chicagoland, they're the Chicago Bears. But even with all that being said, I wish they could just stay in Chicago at Soldier Field. It was indeed the most mutual spot for all fans, indeed, for obvious reasons, and the uniqueness being right off the lake was cool. Pretty bogus. But Soldier Field is old and the smallest stadium in the NFL, and they want to host Super Bowls and Final Fours, so it also needs a dome. Too bad we wouldn't have our lake effect cold being the second opponent to opposing teams anymore. People really just want it in Arlington Heights just because it's Illinois. You just want to keep singing the fight song, Pride and Joy of Illinois. It's over with. They're going to be the extravaganza of Indiana. Nah, but in all seriousness, me personally, I really don't give a damn. I have never went to a Bears game. Even if they come to the region, I'll still watch on TV. It's too damn cold, bro. I know that dome might make a difference, but I don't know. You probably think that killed all my credibility, but whatever. All that matters is wins for the team, especially if they do move to Hammond. Because if they start losing, we'll never hear the end of that. But the crying has got to stop as well. It's like 9 or 10 games at most out the year. The ones complaining the most probably never even went to a game before and barely buys merch. All I got to say to those people is, bear down and shut the fuck up. Or we can up an offer. The region get the Bears stadium and Chicago gets Georgiana? No, but seriously, where did they find that thing from? I know they said she's from Michigan City, and it does kind of matches, but I really don't feel like she's from the region. The accent sounds like upstate Michigan or Nap. That is the most blatant industry plant I've seen in a while. What's crazy is I think she has the voice to be a very good rapper, but the talent and charisma isn't there whatsoever. Wish I could have posted this days ago on 219 Day. But I couldn't rush this one. I really wanted to get my thoughts in order. If you made it to the end, I appreciate you and see you in the next one.